Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to dive headfirst into the absolutely brilliant opening of E.M. Forster's classic, A Room with a View.
So let's start with a big question, one that really gets to the very core of this entire novel. And look, we're not just going to do a boring book report here. No way. We're breaking down how Forster, right from the get-go, sets up this incredible, timeless conflict. The fight between what society expects of you and what your own heart is screaming for.
Okay, so our story kicks off in Florence, at this place called the Pension Bertolini. And right away, we meet our main character, Lucy Honeychurch. But here's the thing, she's trapped. Not just in a hotel room, but in this really restrictive, very proper Edwardian mindset.
And check this out. The novel's very first line, spoken by Lucy's uptight chaperone, Charlotte Bartlett, it immediately gives us the central metaphor for the entire story, the lack of a view. But you gotta understand, this isn't just about the scenery out a window, it's about a world view. This pension, this hotel, it might as well be back in England. It's stuffy, it's full of rules, and honestly, it is completely drained of any real, genuine life.
And this slide, it just lays it all out perfectly. You have these two worlds clashing. On one side, there's the English way, all buttoned up, predictable, living life by the Baedeker guidebook. That's life inside a room. But then, there's the Italian way, and that promises passion, chaos, something authentic and alive. That's a view. And then, bam, into this stuffy little world walk two people who are about to shake everything up. Mr. Emerson and his son George. They're different. They just say what they mean. And they make this offer to swap rooms, to give the ladies the view they wanted. It's just a kind gesture, right? But it completely freaks out the other English guests. It's just not done.
And this is where things really start to escalate. See, Italy isn't just a pretty background in this story. Oh no, it's a catalyst. It's the spark that's going to force Lucy to confront everything she's been missing, and it happens through two totally shocking events.
So picture this. Lucy's walking through a famous square, the Piazza Signora, and she's feeling so frustrated, thinking to herself that nothing ever happens to her. Well, you can probably guess what's coming next.
Out of nowhere, a fight breaks out, and she witnesses a man get brutally stabbed. It's this sudden, violent splash of reality, something completely outside her sheltered little bubble. And she's so overwhelmed she just faints, right into the arms of George Emerson.
Okay, so that was shock number one. A few days go by, the group is on an outing to a beautiful hillside, and Lucy kind of wanders off by herself. She stumbles upon this gorgeous terrace just covered in violets.
And who's there? George, all alone, and without a single word, with no warning, he just steps forward and kisses her. It's a moment of pure, spontaneous passion, completely against every rule she's ever known, and it is absolutely unforgettable.
So, she gets back to England, tries to just shove all that Italian chaos into a box, and what does she do? She gets engaged. But not to George. Nope, she gets engaged to this other man named Cecil Vyse. And right there, that's the core choice of the entire novel.
And these two guys could not be more different. On one hand, you have George Emerson. He's all about truth, passion, real life, sunlight. And then you have Cecil Vyse. He represents convention, a life lived indoors, in a well-decorated room. He doesn't love Lucy as a person, he loves her like she's a work of art.
And this quote from Cecil, man, it tells you everything. He sees her as this mysterious Leonardo da Vinci painting. He loves her for what she doesn't say. To him, she's not a person, she's a beautiful object to be admired and curated inside his room.
So you see what's really at stake here, right? This isn't just about picking a husband. It's about her choosing her entire future, her philosophy, the very version of herself she's going to be. Will she choose passion or propriety, truth or convention?
So what on earth happens when you're caught between these two completely different worlds? Well, the author, Forster, he has the perfect name for it: the muddle.
And it's old Mr. Emerson who just nails the definition when he meets Lucy again. He says, the muddle is that state of total inner chaos that comes from denying your own heart. It's that awful, horrible feeling you get when you're trying to force life to fit into a neat little box and it just won't.
So, to escape this muddle, Lucy tries to lie her way back to what she thinks is safety. But every single lie, denying her feelings for George, accepting Cecil's proposal, it just traps her even more. She's literally building a prison of her own making.
Now, she does eventually find the strength to break things off with Cecil, which is a huge step. She realizes he would just stifle her. But even then, she does it by claiming she just wants freedom. Still completely unable to face the simple truth, she is in love with George Emerson.
And this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. By the end of this first part of the story, Lucy has broken out of one cage, sure, but by refusing to be true to her own heart, has she just built herself another one? The fight for her true self and for a true view of the world is a long, long way from being over.